people's independence. Their inspired words revealed a depth of character and thought, declaring commitment to very long-term goals that would outlive all of their individual selves. There was a courageous willingness to risk the safety of the known for the idealistic promise of the unknown. Few documents or speeches in recent times have evoked the sense of foresight and broad perspective that typified the thinking of the many leaders we have come to know as the founding fathers of these United States of America. My first personal introduction to democracy in action came while attending Scottsdale Community College in Arizona in the early 1970s. I was lucky enough, as editor-in-chief of the campus newspaper and then eventually as student body president, to get a first-hand look at how democracy is supposed to work and what it takes to maintain it. I watched as the Maricopa County Community College District Administration proclaimed that my new campus was to become known as the community's model of democracy, with the novel empowerment of its student government, which was given groundbreaking authority over student fund budgeting and other matters. I then witnessed that same district administration arbitrarily revoke the student government's spending powers while invalidating not one, but two sanctioned student elections for something as innocuous as student mascot. The elections were invalidated by the administration because the winning mascot choice of artichoke drew public attention to a much larger controversy, one involving hidden spending on unauthorized athletics-related activities, questionable financial transactions, and a college board willing to secretly support both, which when eventually revealed led to the dismissal of multiple deans at our college. Almost the moment that the results of the mascot election were publicly announced, the administration promptly declared the entire election null and void, right there on the Model of Democracy campus. You can imagine how student voters felt about that. Fortunately for the students and the community at large, the nullification of the election almost instantly made worldwide news, bringing the underlying political issues to the immediate attention of a much larger community, one that included local taxpayers and journalists across the country. The public attention kept the controversy in the local media for an extended period of time. However, upon witnessing the disconnect between the administration's democracy rhetoric and the reality of nullifying sanctioned elections at will, twice in fact, it became painfully clear to me that democracy was just a word, unless it could be relied upon to apply in all circumstances, which, regrettably, was not the case at my college. Even under seemingly ideal circumstances, there were clearly forces that only supported the concept of democracy, and then only when it suited their interests. The artichoke candidate. My interest in politics had been sparked by the artichoke controversy at my college and my direct involvement as a primary spokesperson for the cause for almost 2 years. I learned a lot, and it prompted me, a couple of years later, to run for a seat on the Maricopa County Community College Board. I ran against a well-funded incumbent, but I had the endorsement of both the Arizona Republic and the Scottsdale Progress, the two largest daily newspapers in the greater Phoenix area at that time. I had become somewhat well known in the community as a result of being a spokesperson for the artichoke cause. Of a total of approximately 66,000 votes cast in my college board race, I lost by about 3,500, an effective margin of just under 1,800 votes, a pretty close race, considering my opponent had spent many thousands of dollars, and my own total campaign expenditures were $124. I had mobilized approximately 25 volunteers, and our strategy was all about person-to-person contact on the day of the election, reminding citizens of the artichoke controversy just before they voted. While I narrowly lost the election, I learned a lot about how the system works and the types of things that voters seemed to care about. These were lessons that would stay with me throughout adulthood. As I grew older, I became an adult earner and thus began paying income tax. It seemed unfair that so much of my paycheck was to be paid in taxes every year. But at a pivotal point in 1983, I realized that while I disliked paying taxes as much as the next person, it would be a lot more tolerable if I had some say over how the tax money was being spent. In my own unscientific survey, I discovered that almost everyone I asked shared these sentiments.